Let's start with your name. Where did your name come from?
My name Diesel. Started off, anybody who knows me knows I played ball way back in the day from 5 years old all the way up through college. So came about middle school on the field playing running back, things like that. They said I ran like a diesel. And then it kind of, once I got to high school, it kind of turned into a thing with the ladies because, ladies always been around. So they would come back say, I feel like I got hit by a diesel. So it kind of gave the way for fellas to say something about the football and then the ladies to say something otherwise, and it kind of blossomed from there. And then as I went on in my career with football, went off to college, ended up having a career in the injury, surgery and all that. Always kind of did rapping in the background, always made music, and then I decided to put all my effort into that, and I felt that was the right name to take off, and because that's what I felt I have always been, Diesel.
Now, what's your ethnicity?
Black and white. Daddy black, mama white, the usual.
Now, where are you from?
I reside right now in Dallas, Texas. Been over there for years now. I was born in Birmingham, Alabama, so, shouts to Birmingham, 205, 256, North Alabama, everything all up in there.
Now, how long you been in Dallas for?
About 5 years now. Yeah, 5 years.
And what took you out over there?
Man, I just kind of fell in love with the city. I grew up, like I said, in Alabama all my life. Made a couple trips back and forth to Dallas. Had a couple people I knew out there. Linked up with some engineers, some studios out there, and I seen the city for what it was. And I knew, like, it was meant for me to be out there and kind of move out on my own and start my music out there.
Now, what's your opinion of the state of rap music right now in Dallas?
I feel like, man, we really, really got potential. Like, I feel like we right on the verge of having that one person kind of break out to shed the light on everybody else in the city. And I feel like as of right now, we got one of the biggest blogs come out of Dallas, Texas right now. We got some of the biggest producers come out of Dallas. And a lot of artists, like I said, that's shining light on the city and got labels flying out, meeting with them and things like that because they see the potential. So it's going to take that one person to pop to get everybody else on board.
Now, give me a tour of the city of Dallas for someone that's never been there before. Let's start with the food. Favorite food spot in the city? I
had to say just a quick chicken spot is Rudy's. Everybody that come to Dallas know about Rudy's. If you want a soul food, sit down, I would say Sweet Georgia Brown. You go in there, you're going to get that good, feel like your grandma in the back cooking it up. And if you want to do some seafood, man, boiling crab, that's one of my spots right now that I'm heavy on the crab legs with.
Now, what do you order from each spot?
I say with Rudy's, it's just chicken and fries. Get a pepper in there and you good to go. Sweet Georgia Brown, fried chicken. They've got, of course, the collard greens, black eyed peas, cabbage. You get the hot water cornbread, whatever you want to do. As far as boiling crab, like I said, the crab legs, get some of that shebang sauce. That's where it's at. The shebang sauce, you throw that on there with the fries, you good to go, man.
Now, what about the nightlife? Favorite strip club in the city?
Favorite booty club is going to be, I say, as far as the atmosphere, V-Live. V-Live just opened up a few months back. They got it popping right now. As far as if you want a little bit more variety of the women, you want your snow bunnies, your Asians, your Latinas, spicy Latinas, you're going to go to Ecstasy, man. You're going to go in there, BYOB, do what you do, come in there and get it right.
Now, for someone that's never been to Dallas before, and the strip club scene, are the women full nude or is it just topless or what?
You can get full nude. There's some places that's full nude, and then, some of them got the little paces. Man, we don't go there, but full nude is what the spots you need to go to. And yeah, let's do that.
Now, what about regular nightclubs? Favorite regular nightclub in the city?
I would say two of mine right now would have to be Medusa. I rock with Medusa heavy, and also Thrive. As far as like the hip hop, the scene, they got the music, and you ain't got to worry about, nothing getting too crazy. The vibe's right, everybody having fun, and they got good bottle service, everything like that. So I say them spots right there.
Now, we talked about the food a little bit. We talked about the nightlife. Any other spots you recommend someone first time visiting Dallas go see, do, or visit while they're in town?
I would say, man, we got pretty much anything you would like to get into. Dallas is just big on history. They got a lot of museums, things like that, if that's what you into. The shopping is key. We got, North Park, hit up North Park, go slide through there, get you some fly gear. Besides that, man, just you walk around, you're gonna find something.
Now, what about the lingo? What are some terms or some phrases one might hear in the city of Dallas right about now?
I would say, for sure, square business. Like, square business is like, it's complete. It's like 100. Everybody say 100 or 1,000. You come to Dallas, it's square business. Like, that's what it's gonna be. As far as me and the people I'm with, like 10-4. That's what we say after everything. Like, you say, hey, boy, I'm about to pull up to the spot, 10-4. Like, just lock it in. That's what we roll with.
Now, what about special events? Are there any special events you recommend someone come to Dallas specifically for? Like, for example, in New Orleans, Mardi Gras is like a week-long celebration out there.
I would say it's depending on the time of the year that you come. Like I said earlier, Dallas is big in the history. Martin Luther King parade, like around that time, there's 250,000 people come out the city to support if you want to do something like that. If you want to get crazy, St. Patrick's Day, that's an all-day event. They shut the city down. Like, I'm talking about 8 a.m. to you fall over in the street somewhere. Like, that's crazy. And then I would say if you can do it like I said, I moved to Texas. One of the things I realized once I got there, the state fair, man, like that's one of the biggest. When they say it's bigger than Texas, it really is bigger than Texas. Like, people that work there, they work 1 month out the year and make enough money to support themselves for the rest of the 11 months. That's how big it is.
All right, let's take it back a little bit. What type of student were you in school?
I would say overall I was a good student. The thing was, I was one of them dudes that, like, the teachers loved me, like, to have me in the class, because I was, I always knew to stay on the teacher's good side. But as far as doing my work and things like that, I probably could have did it a little bit better, but somehow I ended up always getting it done and always getting through the class. So I guess I was all right.
Graduated high school?
Oh, for sure, yeah. I got that, did that for my parents, mom and dad. They'd kill me if I didn't do that.
College?
I didn't. That was one of the things, like I said earlier, with football, I went off, played sports, played football for a couple years, had a career in the injury, and I figured, like, I knew football wasn't gonna work out for me. I knew this rapping thing I always loved to do it. So I put my all into that and hopped out of school.
The career-ending injury happened in high school?
It started in high school. I was getting recruited real heavy out of high school. I was still, even after the injury, one of the top running backs in Alabama, all-state, everything like that. End up hitting my elbow, popping my shoulder out of place, tore my labrum, all that stuff. Had a surgery after that and was out like 3 games during the season, and then came back before having the surgery, just wore like a little brace or whatever, and finished my season out, got like 2,000 yards rushing, things like that. So I still had some offers. But with, again, like the school part of it, my grades wasn't as good as they should have been because I'm too busy, doing my thing, trying to be the Diesel. But I ended up going to a school there in Montgomery, in Alabama, played there a couple years until I hurt my shoulder again, and that's when I called it quits, man, and came to this rapping.
So what year did you, stop college?
I would say that was 2000.
I mean, freshman, junior, sophomore? Freshman, sophomore, junior, senior?
It was end of my sophomore season. That's when I hopped out of there.
Now, was that a decision that you made, that you wanted to just stop and?
Yeah, the way I looked at it, man, is because I was on scholarship. Like, I signed that agreement. Like, I could have sat on the sideline and with my shoulder all messed up and got my free education and not played ball. But the way I looked at it was, I could hop out of school. If I wanted to go back to school, I could, come up with enough money to go to school if I wanted to do that. While I know other people don't have that opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Some people sitting at home, that's their only ticket. And I know there's only a certain amount of scholarships. So why am I going to take somebody else's away? So I made that decision for myself to kind of man up and do my own thing.
Now, how does that work with like college and scholarships and sports? If you do get injured, do they, and you can't, let's say you can't play anymore.
Exactly.
And you're out and you can't physically play anymore. Do they take your scholarship away?
Some do. Some do. I've seen it happen before. I guess it's kind of dependent on your relationship with the school and the coaches, and depending on how bad your injury is. Like, I could have, after that injury, I could have probably came back. I would have never been the same. I can tell you that. I still can't sleep on my right side at night because of that. So I know I wouldn't have been the same. I probably could have went out there, threw some pads on, and been on the team to get that scholarship. But I'm not that type of dude, so I made that decision.
Now let me ask you this: some people have different opinions when it comes to college. Some people say you need college. Some people say you don't need college. Maybe a trade school. Some people say quit college and do their own thing and become very successful, like Kanye West or Bill Gates. And some people get a degree and don't even end up having a job they went and did a degree for. Okay. What is your advice to somebody watching this, thinking about enrolling in college themselves?
I would say if you're thinking about it, go ahead and do it. I mean, if you already made the decision to think about going to school, you're not going to know till you get there. Like you said, a lot of people go, and I got homeboys right now that went to school, got a degree, and they can't get a job. They can't get hired. So I've seen both aspects of it. I've seen people that go get a degree and now they making, 6 figures and living comfortable right now. So it could go either way. It depends on what field you're going into. Make sure it's a field that there are jobs available for. Don't get a degree that's so broad that, it pretty much means nothing. It's a piece of paper that you're not gonna be able to get hired anywhere. So I say it just depends on the person. And man, just in your heart, you know what you want to do in life, and stay ambitious. And if you're gonna do and go all the way with it, go all the way with it. Don't half step. And then if you decide you go and you don't like it, get out while you can before you get in there. And a lot of people get so far caught up in debt trying to get all these loans and stuff, and then they get stuck. They can't pay it, and they're working a little 9 to 5 to pay these student loans, and they mess themselves up. So don't be that person either.
Now, if you could go back in time and do it all over again, would you have done the time you did do in college?
Yeah, definitely. Like, there's a lot of people. That's the other thing about college. You meet a lot of different people from all over that you probably would have never met in your life if you wouldn't have went to college. So there's a lot of relationships I still got to this day that I made while I was at college. And I know without going there, I wouldn't have done it. So yeah, I would have definitely went to college.
Jobs you had growing up, if any?
I would say I got in trouble. My mom she was wanting me to get a job, so around like 15, I don't know if y'all know what this is, but it's I don't even know if it's still around, but it's a grocery store in the South called Food World. I had went there and was like the shopping cart dude, like carrying the carts in and things like that. And man, I had did that for maybe, I say 2 months, and then I was out of there.
Any crazy stories dealing with that? And did you quit or get fired?
I quit. The thing was, like, I made up something. Like, I told my mom, like, I got laid off or something like that. She believed it. She rolled with it. So, but I had to get out of there, man. It wasn't for me. And as far as crazy stories, I would say, man, just, with me, like I said, there were some females there that was a little older than me. During that time, I go in there and after I'd try to hurry up and push the buggies in, get them all out the parking lot so I can go in there and flirt with them and do things like that. And the crazy story was I ended up actually getting locked in the freezer one time because one of the females was there. She was like a senior in high school, and I'm like 15, so I'm trying to holler at her. And she's talking about, hey, meet me in the freezer. We'll go back there, blase. And I fuck around and the freezer locks, and I'm stuck in that hole, like, can't get out. And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm in here, and she's in here. What's gonna be our explanation to get out of this? And after a while, like, you sit there and you so cold, you just don't give a damn no more. You just want to get out. So I don't know if y'all seen that, like the grocery store, you go in and grab your milk, and there might be a dude putting the milk in there. With my ass, I'm having to look through that little hole to try to find somebody to come around. And then when they finally do, I'm like, hey, can you get us out of here? They come around, and at first I come out first, and then she comes out, and it wasn't a good look, man. But I don't know how I didn't get fired right there for that, but I didn't. And then, like I said, it's probably like 3 weeks after that, I walked out.
Nobody had a cell phone?
Bruh, that was the other thing. Like, they had like a little, I guess like a little lobby area in the back where you can put your jackets, your cell phone, shit like that. We had already got in trouble for having our cell phones, out on the job, texting and things like that. So we had to put them in the back. So that was the other reason why I was stuck in that damn freezer for that long because I didn't have no cell phone inside the freezer.
Now, what's the worst thing you put your parents through?
I would say probably when I made that decision to leave school. Like, they always, they always believe in me and believe in what I've got set in my heart to do, and I appreciate them for that, but I know it hurt them when I said, hey, I'm not gonna do this no more. Like, I'm ready to really try to do something else and put my all into that, and they did not like it. I know my mom especially did not like it, but as of right now, she see what I'm doing. She see that people's rocking with it, and she sees the ambition that I got. So she's behind me all the way at this point.
Now, what's your message to the youth?
I would say, man, stay, like I said earlier, stay ambitious and just believe in you at the end of the day, because nobody else is gonna believe in you. And so I've heard this before, if your dreams, if they're not laughing at your dreams, then they're not big enough. So no matter what, you sitting there in school, you sitting there saying you want to do this, you want to do that, you want to be the next football star, you want to be the next rapper, you want to be the next fashion designer, whatever you want to do, people laughing at you, bruh, stay consistent, stay doing that. Because if you do it and put your all into that and don't focus on nothing else, just put your all into that, you're going to get there eventually. Okay,
now when it comes to the music industry, what bothers you the most about it? What's your biggest pet peeve with it at this point?
At this point, man, I would say the way I grew up, man, your word is your bond at the end of the day. Like, and I feel like I kind of knew that going into it, that everybody ain't cut from the same cloth, but I feel like there's certain parts of this game where people say they'll do this, people say they'll do that, and then at the end of the day, they're not gonna do what they said to do. And they go out of their way to tell you they would do something, but they don't do it in the long run. And just kind of like, you gotta have a thick skin and just wipe and just let stuff fall off to the wayside sometimes with this game. And can't take it personal, because at the end of the day, business is business, and you gotta realize you're the only one that's in charge of your career and as far as you're gonna get. So you don't depend on nobody else. But that's probably my biggest pet peeve, is just people saying they're gonna do something and don't do it.
How often do you run into that, if you could put a percentage on it? People that keep their word and don't.
I would say it's kind of iffy. It's like, I would say 50-50, because when you meet new people, it's not people that you grew up with every day. It's people that you met through the industry, through networking and things like that. You don't know how they're gonna be. So it's kind of like you got to take a chance with that person and hope that they are, who they say they are, and gonna do what they say they're gonna do.
Top 3 things you need in the studio.
I would say, for sure, my engineer. Like, got to get everything on point, got to have me sounding right. I would say him. Some Fiji water, because anybody records knows you can't go in there and just talk all day long and not have nothing to drink. So Fiji water and some of that good gas, that loud pack, man, just to make that music sound a little bit better.
What type of strain?
Me personally, I like sativa. I like to be more energetic, be more upbeat, because I don't like to go in the studio and be all laid back, tired, falling asleep, things like that. So I like sativa, man, something that's gonna make me energetic. And as far as a particular strain, I would say, of course, my name Diesel. I like that sour diesel, man. And green crack, I got some of that lately. So I said that green crack goes hard. People don't know it's got no crack in it, so don't mess with that. But it does get you up there. But besides that, you can't go wrong with that OG, man, that good OG.
Craziest studio story, if you have one.
Me and my boy was talking about this the other day, man. It was like, it's probably, I'd say about a year or so ago. I go to the studio, and sometimes you're going into a session as some people's leaving the session. Well, at this particular studio, there was this church group of singers that was in there, doing their thing. And, they was walking out, I'm walking in. They want to know who I am. So, I tell them who I am, what I'm doing, and they want to hear some of the music. So I ended up playing on one of my songs at the time that's going to be on the mixtape Bright Lights and Vices that's about to drop, called Go. And it's just pretty much like more of a club anthem, something to get you moving. and I play that song for them, and then somehow by the midway of the song, they in there twerking, dancing, doing all this stuff, and one of them about half naked, and I'm sitting there thinking, ain't y'all supposed to be here for the, doing your church CD or whatever like that, but I guess the music speaks for itself.
What's the realest song you ever wrote so far in your whole catalog of music?
I would say my realest song would be I'll Never Know. And it's pretty much a song that have you second guessing everything. Have you second guessing your girl you with, the crew that's with you, just life, because it throws so many curveballs, man. Like, that's the song right there that I feel like people listen to that, you're gonna feel where I'm coming from. You're gonna feel that you gotta keep your eyes open in every situation, because you never know what's gonna happen.
Risk versus reward. What's the biggest risk you took for your music career so far?
I would say, like we talked about earlier, man, dropping out of school, putting all my money I had into doing this studio time, into doing this music, beats, everything, man. Just doing that was my biggest risk, and I feel like it's definitely gonna pay off.
What are your keys to success?
Consistency. Staying consistent, because with anything I've ever done in life, the more that I do it, of course, the better I'm gonna get. But I've seen it pay off. With even like we talked about earlier, football. Did that for so long, man. Of course you're gonna get good at it. Just rapping, I can see myself getting better every day. Every day I'm doing it. I see me being consistent with it and getting better every day. So anything you do, stay consistent with it, and it's gonna pay off.